So now what we're going to do is we are going to prepare our materials for the actual projects that we're going to be doing. So you're going to need to have a pair of scissors right now. So you want to grab that. And I'm going to start with this little baggie. I've given you two little baggies. This one, we're going to open this up and I'm going to take out, I gave you a rectangular piece of felt and I gave you something that looks like a circle with a tab on it. Just put those aside. That's going to be for a keychain you're going to make. And I'm going to take the little keychain, it's called a split jump ring, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that over here with it. I'm just going to put it to the side. We're not going to be using it right now. But what I want you to start with is there's going to be several cards, 4 or 5 cards I gave you. Hopefully I gave you enough index cards. And you're going to take the cards, I'm going to move everything away, and you're going to prepare your skeins of embroidery floss. Now, embroidery floss is actually 6 strands of thread that are twisted together. And they're put into a skein like this that doesn't make for very easy use. So what we're going to do first to prepare for this is we're going to take each card and we're going to fold it in half. And I just like to fold, if you have any cards that have the lines, just fold them on the inside. We don't need to see that part. I'm going to fold them like this. And then you're going to take your scissors. What do we call this? The hamburger way we're going to fold it. And you're going to take your scissors and you're going to do 2 cuts. This is going to secure the thread at the beginning and at the end. So I'm going to cut one on the fold, then turn it around, and I'm going to do another snip on the opposite side. I'm going to do that with all 5 of these. One on the fold, one on the opposite side. Just go in about less than an inch. Okay, on the fold and on the opposite side. Okay. Now what I want you to do, this is the tricky part, so be careful because these things tangle up really badly. And if you don't go slow with this, you might be sorry because you're going to be sitting and untangling the whole thing. So you're going to slip off the 2 labels and you're going to open it up so that you can get to the middle. You see, it's wound around in like a circle. So you want to get to the middle, open it up, and you're going to put it on your wrist like a bracelet. This way, it doesn't get tangled. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start by putting the end in to secure it. And I'm just going to wrap it around a card, unwrap it from my wrist, wrap it around the card, unwrap it from my wrist. And you're going to do, it doesn't really matter how neat this wrapping goes, but don't pull so tight that your card bends over. Okay, all you want to do is you're just preparing it to use for the sewing. So I'm just going to do this. And you can use your other cut to get that other end secured. Okay, so you're going to do all of your skeins of embroidery floss and you're going to wrap them all into cards. That's your first step. So prepare the embroidery floss. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take out this bag and you should find a piece of lanyard, something that has 2 little hooks, one at each end, and some beads. So what you're going to do is you're just going to prepare this hook, because this is actually a needle threader, so that you don't lose it. These little things tend to get lost on the floor and the carpet, stuck to things, whatever. So what I want to do is I'm going to put the lanyard through the hole here. And then I'm going to take both pieces of the lanyard. I'm going to even them up. And I'm going to put the largest bead through it first. I should say put the lanyard through the bead. And then I'm going to do all the way down to the smallest one. Now, if you can't get your lanyard through the smallest one, that's okay. You don't have to. In fact, you don't have to use any of the beads. I just like them because it gives you something to hold on to. I'm going to just try to get this in. See if I can. There, I feel it going through. All right, so you want to leave a little bit of leeway right here. Don't pull it all the way up to the metal, or then you're going to have a hard time using it. But like that would be good. Then I'm going to take my ends and I'm going to go and tie them together in a knot. Okay. And if you have enough thread and you want to tie it again, you can do a double knot. That would be the safest way. There we go. And don't cut it too close because it's liable to come undone. But if you have a lot of straggly ends, go ahead and cut it to get rid of it. All right, so there's your needle threader. You're all ready to go with that now. I'm going to move that over to the side. Now we've got something here that looks like a strip of felt. Well, it is a strip of felt. And on it is a little white piece of felt. And on that is a needle. That's what you sew with. It's got an eye to it and a very sharp point. And then it's got 4 pins that I gave you. So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to move that to the side for a second. I gave you 3 patterns. There is a rabbit, and there is a dolphin, and there is a bear. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is there should be 3 pieces of felt. You're going to pull off the stickers because they all have stickers on them. And you're going to get them into a garbage can. I always want to make sure that you don't get them stuck to something. Sometimes they're kind of hard to remove. Okay, and then I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to decide which one am I going to use for which. Well, first thing that you want to do is cut out your patterns. So take a pair of scissors and cut out around the edges of your shape. And let me show you this little guy. Here's my version of this little guy. You're going to be actually sewing and making some fantasy animals. But first we're going to get it prepared, and I'll tell you the reason why we're not doing the fantasy animals yet. We're just doing the preparation of them. That'll be the last thing that we're going to do is the animals. But the reason why I want you to decide which pieces of fabric you want for which pattern is because you're going to need to use the scraps when you do some of these other projects. And so I tried to give you a variety of colors for the different projects. There's actually going to be 4 projects that you're going to make. One project, the first project you're going to start with, is going to be a bracelet. You're just going to be shown how to do some stitches. That's the purpose of it, is all practice. And you're going to give me a picture of that when you're all done, and then you're going to be graded on your effort. Not on the outcome, but on the effort. All right, then we've got a dolphin and we've got a bunny. So what I'm going to do is going to decide what I want for what. I think I'm going to use the bunny for the purple, and I think I'm going to use the blue for the dolphin. The dolphin will go in water. And then I'm going to use the gray for the bear. Now, I'm going to put these other ones away because you don't need those yet. But after you cut out your paper, you're going to take your piece of felt and fold it in half, okay? And you're going to take your pattern and you're going to put it on top of it. And you're going to move it, like, don't put it right in the middle because then you won't have as big as scraps to work with. Move it sort of toward one end or another. You have these pins. They're in your bracelet piece, and you're going to pin in and out and in and out. And let's see, how can I do this? There and there. I guess we're gonna have to do it like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut it out. Now be careful, make sure you don't cut away any of the paper. The paper is called the pattern, and you don't wanna alter the pattern at all. So you're just gonna cut around it. And remember when I told you when you were cutting the paper strips, that cutting paper is a lot different than cutting fabric. Fabric is a little bit harder to work with, and this is called felt, which is a non-woven, and this is pretty bulky. So you're gonna have to really get some sharp scissors, and if you're having trouble, it might not be the scissors. No offense, it might be you. So make sure when you hold the scissors, instead of open and close and open and close, you got a little pull with your thumb and push out with your fingers in order to give the kind of traction that you need to make the perfect cut. So it's a little bit more than opening and closing them. And I'm gonna just go around here, and then I'll go back and do the cut between his little legs. And then you'll notice that I've got all this gray fabric left. That's what we want, because you're gonna use this for some other projects. So this is the important stuff. A little piece like this, I don't have to save that. But this right here, you're gonna be saving. So I'm going to, oh, I didn't cut this. Let me get this. That's gonna be like that. And you're gonna do the same thing for all three of your animals. You're gonna cut out the paper. You're gonna remember to fold your fabric over in half, and you're gonna pin it down the best you can, and then it's going to be cut out so you have two pieces. Just wanna show this to you. Remember, you need a front and you need a back, okay? So that goes together. I'm just gonna put this like that, and then you're gonna work on the other two patterns, and you can decide which color felt you want for each one, okay? And that should do it. So we have, you've wrapped your skeins of embroidery floss. You have made your needle threader more noticeable by putting a lanyard and some beads on it. And make sure that you use the smallest bead closest to the knot so it doesn't slip over the knot. And then you cut out all of your shapes, all of your patterns, and you're saving the scraps. So put the scraps back in a bag. Don't lose them, okay? You're gonna need them for the projects. All right, that's all for today. Bye-bye now.